Natasha Thorley, and she's trained to the same level I am, but we've gone in slightly different directions, and she's been in the business for how long? Of image?
Yeah, in total, well over 20 years.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
So she kind of knows what she's talking about. And I thought, what a great idea to bring Natasha, to invite her up here and talk to you guys about those first 7 seconds from a different perspective. Because I think I mentioned to some people that there would be some sartorial information if you were interested, and this is it. And because Natasha's NLP trained, of course, that's going to be the underlying current of all of this, and she's going to present in that way without giving too much away. But she deals with image, business, corporate, personal, one-to-ones, groups, glamorous, serious, you name it. And she's going to give us a fabulous presentation for the next hour. Get your pens ready and your pads ready, because I'm sure there's going to be lots of good information. I'm going to sit back there and learn something, definitely. Take it away, Natasha.
Okay.
Thanks very much.
Okay, great. To be honest, I'm delighted to have been asked to speak with you in the context of powerful presentations, because this is something that I feel very passionate about, and it's every minute of my day. It's everything that I think about and I feel throughout my day, from waking up in the morning to how I approach absolutely everything that I do, whether it's corporately, professionally, with my children and family, whether it's with my friends, it's a social event. I approach my image in the same way, regardless of what I'm doing. So this opportunity to kind of just drop in a few seeds within Michelle's brilliant, powerful presentation, 2-day seminar, is a great addition, I think, at the moment, and I hope you will think so too at the end of this. That I want to get you thinking about some of the other aspects of your presentation, because if we go back to Michelle's lovely drawing this morning, she says, standing behind a prop. I just want to take you back to this, because actually this forms the absolute blueprint of what I'm going to talk about. When I first got up a few minutes ago, or where you saw me this morning, you will have all done to me what we all do to each other. It's a natural process, it's factual, it's not about being overly critical. People think, oh, you just need to say something nice. Well, actually our brains are computing in such speed about all of the things that we're taking in, with our eyes, with our ears, with our feelings, with the temperature in the room. Absolutely everything is on overdrive. And a lot of what we do with each other that relates to our appearance and our image generally is done unconsciously. Okay? Now, bearing in mind that in the 100%, 7% of what you are going to present at any moment, be it on a one-to-one with somebody at the bus stop or a one-to-one in a very important meeting, 7% is proven to be the thing that the words, the content of the message. So for me, in what I do with people, working on appearance, behaviour and communication and linking all of those things together, this 97% is something that is in complete control for you, if you wish it to be, by actually manipulating and choosing the messages that you want to send people. So just as an exercise, a quick exercise, just to get you thinking slightly differently, I'm going to show you something on the laptop. So I want, perhaps if you can move forward, anybody that wears glasses that might need some help might want to move forward. No, you're all okay. I think I'll probably hold it, actually, looking at where you all are. Now, I'm not going to give you very long. Okay? You ready? Okay. that lady do as a job, do you think?
Head teacher.
Yes. Head teacher.
Something serious.
Authority.
So what we've got serious, authority,
Bank.
head teacher, bank, accountant.
You could go totally the other way. I didn't see how old she was, but she could be a mature lady, well dressed in a below the knee skirt.
Do you know, I wondered if it was a man dressed up.
That's fantastic. You thought it was a man dressed as a woman? Yeah.
Yeah, she could be.
Paul?
She was just trying to
Coming in straight into Margaret Thatcher's look as well.
Okay, so what does that say to you?
She's Prime Minister, so
Okay.
it's a management.
So quite a political look, yeah. Yeah, okay. So if she's very experienced and she's really good at what she does and she's got years of, you know, proven track record, looking the way she does, you're saying you probably wouldn't hire her, you would look for someone with the same skill set and experience.
We see she's not going to work alone and she's got to interact with other staff,
Mm-hmm.
and from a position of authority she probably will have to. Then I'm sure there are other people that are more appealing to a wider range of employees, let's say.
Okay, so
If she's working by herself from home.
yeah. So what we're saying here, I think, is from an employability point of view, unless anybody differs, you know, yeah, you wouldn't want her front office necessarily.
If I was opening a school, let's say in Dubai,
Yes.
and the whole purpose of was I was trying to introduce the Western culture, standard of education,
Yeah.
that's the sort of person I would employ to head that. So it's horses for courses.
Yeah, I'll tell you where else she'd be really suitable. If you because you said not front of office, but I can think of a place where she would be ideal for front of office. Funeral parlour.
My word. Okay.
She's just so black. She won't upset anyone.
In my child's school, there was the secretary who looked pretty similar to that, and as everyone walked past the office, no one was late to bring their children into school. The children were dressed extremely smart.
Yeah.
Everyone followed the rules.
Yep.
And she kept the whole school together.
Okay.
She left because she'd been there for 30 years or so. She wanted to move on.
Mhm.
They changed the secretary, got somebody in new, fresh, competent, pretty much same skills. The uniform standards have dropped. There's a major change, so I can see that having somebody like that can play a certain role in a certain place.
Yeah.
Dependent, I think very much on role dependency.
Okay, I'm getting lots of nods as everybody is taking turns to speak. You're all pretty much agreeing with the comments that are being made. Now, you probably got, I don't know, we didn't time it, but perhaps less than 10 seconds.
7 seconds.
Yeah, of time to look at her. Can you see how animated this debate on absolutely every aspect of the messages she's sending with her look? Okay, and we'll just call it her look from head to toe. Personally, and I know from the work that was done with this lady, she had all of that feedback before. You are not saying anything about the feedback and the profiling that we did around that that is in any way different. So the messages that this lady was sending are coherent with the perception that you have of her, okay? Now it just happens that I have another photograph that I'd like you to have a look at. So,
We have a waiting outside. We've done a makeover, haven't we?
She's been listening on to everything.
now this time obviously you're aware what I'm doing, so you're going to perhaps be a little more attentive.
Wow.
And she's not a man.
Now, what are your first thoughts?
Politics.
Approachable.
Yeah.
She's friendly.
Why is that picture closer than the other?
It wasn't meant to be. It's, yeah.
Open. welcoming.
Yeah, she's leaning on something, meaning before she was quite isolated, now she's
body language has changed, hasn't it?
Into a world, that makes sense.
Yeah, and to be honest, lots of photographs were taken, and we've just literally, I've just taken one that is representative of the look. It's in no way.
She was slimmer and younger.
Ah, brilliant! Absolutely brilliant.
That's the main thing. I think she's
Yeah, she's
smiling, and
Do you
she's
think-
slightly maybe I don't know if she's slightly tilting her head. Her shoulder seems. Was this? I want to see the other picture now.
Yes,
Is her head tilted slightly, but her eyes look wider?
Would you like a quick,
She's smiling.
a quick?
She's on slight, she's got a
Yeah.
slight bend in her body.
I don't know, I think because she's smiling, her face is.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
she's-
yeah,
her head is tilted a bit more.
yeah, and the hair.
It's like,
Yeah.
oh, she's really here as well.
Yeah, but you can see the whole, you can see her legs.
Oh, I thought she was just
Like
like that.
But the jacket
Okay.
is open, which makes her look straight up and down. She's not the manly look.
She is wearing makeup. Now, the lady in question is. Let me just show you the two photos again. So
She also looks more comfortable in her own skin.
she does. Body language is quite different in this photograph. You can see she's more relaxed. Her shoulders have dropped. She looks more approachable, friendly, likeable.
Yeah.
Wow, loads younger.
Did you?
Yeah, years and
Did
years.
you do that makeover?
We did it as part of London Image Institute where I trained.
I'm just thinking, wow, could
Yeah.
I have one?
But I do this all the time, and
Similar pose as well.
yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
But she's dropped pounds, absolutely pounds. She's become feminine. She doesn't look like a man in a lady's suit anymore. Her hair looks more contemporary and more groomed, absolutely. The colour suits her. She was in a good colour, but do you remember in the previous outfit she was wearing a blouse right up to her neck? Yeah, and it all looks very suffocating and uncomfortable. Yeah, very stiff and yeah. She's actually the head of a medical research centre in the US. She has a very, very senior post. Now, she was more comfortable in wearing quite a sporty style. In the US, sporty is more a sort of casual style, as we would call it here in the UK. She liked natural fibres, so she tended to wear more sort of natural colours, so beiges and light tans and so on. And dressing for the office, she hated makeup, so because she didn't know how to apply it, didn't know the relevance of it from a business point of view, and just generally felt very uncomfortable within herself in the clothes that she wore to the office. And she wore those clothes because she felt that that was what was expected of her to wear, were kind of skirt suits and sort of trussed up blouses and so on. And she kept her hair short, but it was quite bushy and fine at weekends when she was out doing sporty sort of natural lifestyle activities, which is where her core being was sort of happiest. Now, what does that tell us about our approach, perhaps, to our own image? I'm sure you're all sitting there thinking, wow, how does this apply? Because it's very, very impactful and clearly a unanimous result in all of your feedback about how you saw her, how you felt about her. And reading those messages in that look gave us some very profound statements, actually, about who she might be, what sort of level in the company she worked at. Nobody had her at the top, which was really interesting, because she is absolutely at the top. And she looks like she's struggling a bit in that outfit, you know. Now, what do those messages and those judgments mean in the next stage? Because what do we do when what were we doing straight after that? Absolutely. So
We were being
judging.
very horrible to her.
Yeah.
And you were.
And how do we then apply that to our thinking about her? So we're now going into a meeting with her. How are we going to approach that meeting?
I guess we're creating hurdles that she's got to get over. So already, because we probably don't really respect her as much as we would do, so she's got to prove herself more than if I went to a meeting with her looking like that, I expect what she's telling me is probably true. Whereas if I went to a meeting with her looking like she did before,
yeah,
I probably wouldn't really be convinced by her. So she'd have to argue.
Okay, so credibility is what I'm hearing there. The credibility of her role, her position, and the way that she looks is incongruent. Yeah? It's not consistent with the values and the mission that she has within her personal brand, is how I would put it to you, to think about how the messages that you want others to have of you are very much in your control to create, okay, with your look. Now, I could have come along today wearing a pair of silver, I've got a pair of silver plimmies that I like wearing, and my 7 jeans, and a nice sort of graphic tee, and a leather jacket. What difference in the tone of how I might look would that have given you? Did you all get that picture?
Yeah.
So I look a bit rock and roll, don't I? I mean, it is Glastonbury this weekend, but... Okay, so do you think I've got a wider aspect of understanding image and appearance if I'm wearing jeans and a rock and roll t-shirt?
Really good as well in jeans and leather jacket, and so it depends. You could still have a really good style, but it looks less professional to me.
Is it in keeping with today's event, bearing in mind that I'm here? No, okay.
But I wouldn't say it would be less professional, because I know many professionals in advertising who dress that way, and that we never ever went in being formal unless you wear a suit, which is basically account handling, where
yes.
You're talking to the
and you're
client.
pitching.
All the creatives, all the TV producers, they all go in all sort of like relaxed and very smart, very professional.
Yep.
They're still dressing for their particular story.
That's right. No, I'm just going to say, but that probably wouldn't be appropriate for you to do this, because we would have a different perception. You just like, to me, would be a little bit more wacky presenter, but not. I wouldn't, because that's what I'm used to. But other people may not, because it's their own belief system.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to say, it's what you bring to it, because actually both of those pictures I'd actually be terrified of her in both, because I was taught to fear authority.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm bringing to it, like you said, Mary, that if you wore your plimsolls, she'd still see you in the same way.
Yes.
It depends what you bring to it.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. So it's the perception of others that you don't know everybody's previous life experiences and the beliefs that they hold. This morning we heard about the story about the lady when Michelle went to a meeting and she was ignored, and Michelle just got the feelings that, you know, this woman hates me. By the end of the week she still hadn't spoken to her. Now Michelle probably did interpret that in a million ways, a myriad of ways throughout the week, bearing in mind that each time there was a moment that Michelle was made to feel uncomfortable, she'll have come up with another option as to why that lady wasn't communicating with her, why she didn't like her. So by the end of the week, Michelle actually took to alcohol in that scenario to try and break through that barrier. And what I would put to you is that actually thinking about this in a proactive way, and going back to things that we talked about this morning again, you know, the preparation for your presentation starts when you get out of bed in the morning, okay? It starts with how you prepare yourself for the day ahead. Because even if you are preparing a presentation at a given moment in time, so you have a meeting at 2, for instance, and you are presenting something to a group of people or an individual, you're going to have a whole morning before you get to that meeting where you're going to meet lots and lots of other people. and you're interacting on so many levels throughout the day. So I would put to you that yes, you may have that specific meeting in mind as to how appropriately you may pitch your look for the day, but you would still, in my view, be consistent with the messages you wish to send all the time. Okay? Now, to give you an analogy, can anyone think of a really strong brand, for instance, a product brand, any at all? Levi. Everybody in the room knows Levi. Do we know?
Ralph Lauren.
Ralph Lauren. Okay. Nike. Okay. Give me any examples of any of those brands of some consistent messages. What are the consistent messages? Let's take in reverse order. Nike.
Sports.
Yep.
High performance.
Yeah.
High performance.
And also very trendy for the young.
Yep. Is there a visual?
Top sports.
Just do it.
Just do it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And it means to win. So
And it means to win.
win.
Nike, a brand, means to win. How do we get that meaning? Okay, so I'm going to ask you to do a short exercise where you can pair up. I know there's an odd number, and as Michelle's been speaking all morning, she can still have a seat, and we'll get one group of 3, perhaps. And I'd like you just to take 5 to 10 minutes thinking about words that you, and we'll use the example we've just had there of some of the words with Nike, that you would apply to your personal brand. Okay? You are your own product. We talked about that this morning. So I'd like you to pick some succinct words and the meaning of your brand. Okay? So we need to get some meanings too. So I want some words surrounding. So as we just said there with Nike, it means high performance. It means to win. Yeah? It means, what else did we say? Trendy, sporty, absolutely. So taking Nike away and actually working back to yourselves, your image, if it's going to be a strong one, is going to be congruent with the messages you want others to pick up about you. Because then, in a split second later, they're going to make profound judgments about you. So let's think about some of the keywords. I don't want you to spend too long on this. This is actually a huge exercise that you can undertake, and a very powerful one. And some of the photographs that I have lots more photographs which I'm happy to sort of share and show you outside of presentation times, because I think pictures do give you a million messages, and the more that you see, and the shock factor of how someone can take what we call a confused or mixed message and make it a clear and positive message, which is in keeping with your goals, the values, the direction that you may want to go in. Do you want to be promoted? How do people that are on that next level look? Yeah. I know there was some feedback around that in Michelle's feedback from you. Owning the room, that was another comment that came through pretty consistently. This can be with one person, it can be with 500 people as a keynote speaker. This is about how you get your personal presence and your professional presence, when it's applicable, to a level that is credible and it's consistent and it is completely congruent at all times. Okay? You've all gone really quiet. So, twos, but one group of 3, because there's an odd number in the group. Okay? Just jot some words down.
What would you take? Can we have an example? I was thinking, I've got that 1,000 words.
Okay, use me.
Yeah,
okay,
you, yeah.
What words would you use to describe my brand? You've only met me today for a few hours, but that's a long time. It's certainly a lot longer than 7 seconds. So what words would you use to, and please just fire away, you know, I prefer honest.
I said relaxed,
friendly.
Smart.
Can I ask you to switch partners if you worked with somebody sitting next to you this morning? Just to...
We're going to mix it up.
Yeah. It's everything. We ready? Yes. Okay, I would like, if you would like to share some of this work with each other, because again, you're amongst friends, you're all here with exactly the same drivers, and it's incredibly useful to actually start to share this. Testing.
Hello?
Oh, one. So, as part of the overall presentation practice, because we've talked about practice makes perfect, and you know, the more you do this, can I have some volunteers just to come up and share their words with us? Yeah? Come on then.
My second word was quality, because that's quite a feeling quite strong to my heart about what sort of business I want to do. And my third word was revolutionary, because I think it's quite it's quite a big thing to change like the mindset of what is currently the common sort of way of thinking in that field. So my three.
Yeah, okay. So I have 3 projects, I have 3 projects and I chose 3 words for each of them. So the first one is comfort. Comfort. And that's one for pain control, by the way. And the other one is just one thing I like to do, and that's pleasure. So I really want to work on that pleasure. And the third one is practical. Yeah, practical.
The rest, so knowledgeable, confident, influential, trustworthy, experienced.
Friendly, helpful, approachable, lively, and being able to captivate an audience.
I have to say, when we did the same thing, first of all, like you said, we gave each other 3 or 4 words how we describe each other. And you said dynamic. You said dynamic, different, energetic, and those are the things. It's funny because those are the things that I keep thinking that they are. That's exactly what I am. But I keep thinking that's not what people want of me. If you see what I mean? Because I keep saying I'm too dynamic. I'm acting too young. People want a trainer to be more mature, more knowledgeable. If you see what I mean. But then thinking, well, you said they're lovely things about me. So that's what I'm having.
Okay, who enjoyed doing that exercise? Yeah, it certainly showed in the presentations, and like Michelle said, you know, your whole body language had changed dramatically from this morning, and only those that see others can make that judgment. You'll see your own filming at the end of the course, and you'll see the stages that you're making, but it was actually quite pronounced between this morning's presentations and that set. Unbelievable. There are a whole raft of headlines, if you like, that attach themselves to this early part of the process, that take you into the 3 areas of appearance, behaviour, non-verbal, verbal, and communication, which are all part of your overall image and your presentation. Because for me, your image and presentation, the 2 words, are actually the same thing. They just change in the entity in which you produce them for different situations, for different outcomes that you desire, and for the environment in which you're in, and many others. And different levels of input are required, either in your appearance, your behaviour, or your communication, in order for those messages that you wish for the others to perceive of you to come through firing strong. And that in those first 7 seconds, you get them, okay? And most importantly, they get you, okay? They absolutely get you from the moment you arrive in the room. And that takes us back to some of the feedback we got about how do you own a room? Well, you start owning a room ages before you enter into it. It's so many things that you can take control of to get those messages congruent and deliver a consistency in absolutely everything. So other areas, huge areas of importance, and branding, I'll stick with the branding to tie that together. When we look at significant brands in the world, product brands, there's generally a colour that goes with that. And you know, we talk about Nike, we talk about, let's see, Coca-Cola. What colour is Coca-Cola?
Red.
Absolutely. What does red mean to us psychologically? Okay, we read colour unconsciously. Okay, it's very much part of our flight or fight mode. It's something that's inherent in us as to whether we feel comfortable in a particular situation. So we read colour absolutely instantaneously. So when somebody walks into the room, even if you're engaged in a conversation somewhere else, and let's use the networking group situation of this morning, in amongst your discussions with your partners, had you have been in a position where you were able to see the door, even if you were engaged in a conversation here, unconsciously, if somebody had walked in wearing a bright red dress or suit, you would have noticed them, okay? And you could have been fully engaged in your conversation, but you'll notice that they were there. Now, it may be dramatic enough for you to actually break off from where you are in the conversation and look at the colour, because it's so prominent and so dramatic, or certainly that you would remember ages later on in the day that somebody might say to you, did you notice somebody came in earlier? And you go, oh yes, I think it was a lady wearing red. And you might only get as far as she was wearing red. So colour is very, very important. And in the work that I do, colour means so many things. It could be how you present your presentations. You know, if you have a backdrop, if you're producing a very formal presentation on a stage and so on, you may wish to choose the colour of the backdrop in order to set a mood in the room, or a mood where you are seen as part of the backdrop. Here the backdrop is a wooden panelled room, but you know, if I wanted to make a very dramatic statement, I might have a black background or a white background and wear a very, very high contrast, different colour in front of it so that I'm standing out. Now, if I want to look bigger, I'll use a darker background and a lighter outfit, because light colours project forward. If I want the reverse, and perhaps part of the feedback, I think it was you, Mary, you were saying that the lady in the second photograph looked slimmer. She's actually wearing a much more tailored suit in a dark colour, and that actually gives her the definition. So if you want to look slimmer on stage and you haven't got time to diet, your choice of colour and the types of clothing that you may choose for your presentation would be something very much top of mind, because all of that is part of your remit of creating the environment in which you're going to present. So I'm just going to leave you that with colour, because colour is a huge theme and topic which works its way right down to you and your personal colouring, and colours that either suit you or make statements where you can elicit a different outcome in your audience based on colours that you may use. Okay, so there's a lot about, just very briefly, some of the feedback that you were giving there about the brands that you would like to be. Some of the words were about approachable, kind, softer words about how you would like to be perceived as a brand. Now, colours in psychology that give that as a message, can we guess what colours might link to approachable, kind, sensitive, caring.
Pink, lilac.
Pastels, absolutely pastels, big time. So watered down colours that are softer in the frame. Dolores is sporting a lovely pastel jumper, which makes her more approachable. The girls, Hyrie, your grey top, Alicia, Lorraine, you all fall into that category. Felix, if you take your jacket off and you were just wearing your shirt and trousers, you're in a quite casual outfit, and your shirt, because it's in soft light colours, would make you quite approachable. Yeah, and it's in keeping with you, your natural colouring, because you've got quite soft colours. You're not high contrast like me, you know, dark hair, very pale skin. My colouring is quite formal in its natural state. So the minute I wear a dark colour with a light top today, I look quite formal, would you say? Would you agree? So it's quite authoritative is the word that we would use for this look. Whereas Felix, if you don't mind me using you as an example, Felix looks sort of softer, less authoritative, although he is wearing a jacket, and that makes a big, big difference. That third piece of wearing something over the top that you're wearing gives you authority. The general rule is the more layers that you build up, the more authority there is. So for a man, the most formal suit that you can wear is with a waistcoat, because you've got the shirt, the waistcoat, the jacket. So absolutely layers on top. What else can I tell you very quickly? And then the fabrics in which you choose to wear those clothes. It stands to reason that when I say this, you'll all start going, oh yes, it makes absolutely crystal clear sense. Fluffy jumpers, what do they say? Fluffy mind. Have you lost your credibility as a woman if you turn up wearing a fluffy, soft? Yeah? If you're standing in an authoritative environment, are you going to get taken as seriously as you might like to be? Yeah? So I'm just looking at you there. You know, you stand in very corporate training presentations, more sort of formal events. That's where your third piece, you know, there's subtle changes to perhaps how you think about dressing now, but they're easily instigated into your everyday life. They're just little messages that you say to yourself, do I need to look credible where I'm going? And what does that mean as to my choice of outfit today? So I'm going to leave you with that. Thank you very much.
Stay there.
Okay.
You're not leaving yet.
Okay.
Wasn't she fabulous?
Oh.
So fabulous. I'd like to ask her to come back tomorrow. She's coming back tomorrow anyway. But to come back tomorrow and do a little bit more. Would you like that? Yeah?
Okay.
But there's an added, you know about this.
Yes,
I'm now going to tell them.
Absolutely.
It's about time we tell them, don't you think?
Yeah, I think
so. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. When I work with people who are making speeches, I say to them when they rehearse in front of a camera, which I would suggest for anybody, that they dress for the environment that they're going to make the speech in. For example, groom or best man, let's use best man as an example. Best man, he may run around in jeans and a t-shirt, right? And he may want to rehearse his speech in jeans and a t-shirt. Then the day of the wedding comes and he's in, you know, the whole thing and the tails and the top hat and everything. He's not wearing the top hat, obviously, when he's doing the speech. But suddenly he's all trussed up, he can hardly breathe. He's got this all fitted going on, and he's not feeling like this anymore. He's feeling like a trussed up turkey. So, what I'm going to ask you all to do is, I know it's the weekend, and I know you like being casual and all that, and you can actually bring this with you and not arrive in it, but I want you to bring clothing that is suitable, appropriate, that reflects the environment that you will be making a presentation in. And trust me, it's a very valuable exercise to do. I know it's a bit of a bore for some of you. Now, if you do make presentations in t-shirts and jeans, fine. Okay?
Absolutely fine.
Now, because we have the fabulous Natasha here, she, if you wish, privately or however you want to do it, will give you some advice on what you're wearing. and if it works for you, okay? You've got to hear user. You know, people pay a lot of money to go to this woman and have her say yes, no, try this, do that, this may not be your body shape. Yeah?
Mm-hmm, definitely.
And she can do that in a heartbeat. She's brought a mirror with her. She travels with a huge mirror. Everywhere I go. Some people travel with a briefcase. She travels with a mirror. And, you know, she can even show you, point it out to you. It may be out of your comfort zone, but, oh, you can leave. But remember where change happens.
Yeah. Very much so.
Okay? All right? And you, Alina, you really come out of your comfort zone to come here, right? So, would you wear this for a presentation?
No.
Right. Okay. There you go. So what I want tomorrow is, if it's possible, I know some of you have traveled from other countries and you might not have brought the clothes with you, but as close as you can get that is appropriate to a presentation. Now some of you may say, but I'm not making a presentation.
Mm-hmm.
Would you like to make a presentation in the future? Yes, Elaine, I would. Yes, Michelle, I would. Yes. Okay. So what I want you to do, and anybody else that can imagine themselves in a future presentation in front of a certain type of people, and you know that one, right? Yeah. You know who those people would be. I know Elaine, so that's why. Alicia, you know the kind of people you want to present in front of, yeah? So interpret that and come dressed, and it may be like you are today, but I'm just saying that that's what we want you to do, because it'll be an extremely powerful way of, you'll feel different. Absolutely feel different. I mean, I feel different in this than I do in my jeans and t-shirt.
Absolutely. I don't wear a suit every day.
And I don't wear high heels every day, and I rarely wear pink dresses. But there you go. Yes, ma'am, you got a question?
Yeah, what if you don't know what to wear?
Well,
go shopping.
Make your best selection. Make a best selection based on the messages. Think about the message. Some of the things that I sort of covered in what, an hour and a half, or think about some of those messages and apply them where you think they're applicable to the messages that you would like others to perceive you as. So when you do your presentations, it may be really useful exercise to get some feedback from the audience as to what those messages are, okay? Because it's brilliant feedback, and to be in that position where, you know, generally speaking, I work with people on a one-to-one, so they don't have the benefit of 15 other perceptions of what is being seen. Absolutely. It's fabulous to get that broad spectrum, and it may make you slightly nervous, but please trust that this is going to be the most
it'll be an aha moment.
Yeah,
right?
a massive aha moment where you just are, you know, released into knowing so much more about how you can be perceived by others, and it's fantastic.
Let me make it really simple for you. Look at your list of your brand. Dress according to that brand projection. Simple.
You don't have to arrive.
What I said is, if you don't want to arrive like it, bring it with you.
Yeah.
And you can change.
Yeah. I'm
not expecting, I know it's Sunday, who wants to travel on public transport or whatever, trust up. But it will make a profound difference, and you will see it on film as to how your whole posture changes. And I mean every aspect of your posture, not just your physical posture.
Yeah.
Your posturing, the way you speak and everything. So look at what you would like your brand to be, and dress as if you are already that woman. Does that make sense? And a man for anybody, okay?
Yeah.
Oh, you can bring it with you.
You can bring it with you and get changed.
And bring a bag. We've got, if you don't mind. Yeah. I mean, we're not making you do it, but trust me, it will be a real advantage to do it. Because as I say, I do this with grooms and fathers of the bride and all that, and they always come back to me and say, thank you.
Yeah.
Because it made such a difference to rehearse as close as I could in the clothes I was going to wear on the day, than just kind of hanging out in my t-shirt and jeans. You know, it's a physical, it's a biological change, physical change, metaphysical change. Everything changes when you change clothes. If you want to wear the suit all day, fine. If you want to bring it in a garment bag, then come like this and hang it there and go to the men's room later, or the ladies' room.
That's why they invented dress rehearsals.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Well spotted.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Because you can rehearse in your jeans and t-shirt, and then suddenly you're the Queen of Sheba, right? Or whatever. and you're gonna walk. You know, when I used to model, every outfit, I mean, that was one of my trademarks, is that every outfit I put on, I interpret it slightly differently. Because different clothes make you feel different. You don't, I mean, this doesn't work for men, but you don't feel the same in an evening dress, do you, Natasha?
Absolutely
as you do
not.
in jeans and a t-shirt. You wouldn't walk in the same way.
No.
You wouldn't stand in the same way. You wouldn't be as elegant, you know, you don't like Trace wearing jeans and a t-shirt or anything, but if you're in an evening dress, you become much more elegant. And for men, they become, I see their posture changes, and they kind of stand up, okay? That's what we want to see. Because we want to see you in almost real time. Make sense? Any other questions?
Yes, I've got a question about bright colours.
Yeah?
Because you mentioned the lady in red.
Yes?
Lady in red. That's right.
How would you perceive that? Is that a good thing? Because
It can be.
that attracts lots of attention.
Yeah.
Or
Absolutely. The answer is it can be what you want it to be. If you are looking for the message to be dramatic and to be captivating, yeah, and to be slightly creative, yeah, then you will pick a bright colour. We have a great example here.
I might wear it tomorrow, actually.
So, you know, Michelle, the messages I read in Michelle are that she has fabulous posture, she could have been a dancer or a model, her dress style is creative, she's very comfortable wearing bright colours. She's wearing high contrast, she's got a black jacket on, it's tailored, so it's figure hugging, she's confident with her body. You know, the black tights with the pink, it's a very dramatic, sharp, attention-grabbing outfit. Yeah? Michelle is not a shrinking violet. She does not want to give that overly soft, you know, in your comfort zone appearance in that outfit.
Well, when you're 6 feet tall with red hair, it's really difficult to be shrinking violet. So I figure, why not? Just go for it. Yeah, but thank you for that. I'm
staying.
Because I think they have a couple more questions.
Okay, yeah.
But what I was going to say is, to answer your question, it's like anything else. It's about owning it. Okay? Yeah. I see women that wear big hats to Ascot or weddings or whatever, and they feel, and the hat is wearing the woman.
Yeah.
You with me? The woman is not wearing the hat.
Especially if I travel to Waterloo.
Right. So if you're wearing a red dress, wear that red dress.
Yeah.
Don't forget, oh God, I'm in a red dress. I don't want anybody to notice me. You know, I'm just going to stand here. Then don't wear the red dress. You've got to be in that moment, in that mood, and you've got to own it, own it, own it, own it, and say, right, I'm going to wear the red dress, and that requires a certain type of confidence. And you know, we've heard this expression, which is not one of my favorites, but it does work, fake it till you make it. Mm. And it really does work. Mm. And we're going to be doing a little bit of that later, where you fake, and in the sense of what we're talking about, it's not so much faking it, it's imagining it.